Hop Frog, originally titled Hop Frog or The Eight Chained Orangutans, ranks among the final short stories written by American horror and fiction master Edgar Allan Poe. First appearing in The Flag of Our Union in 1849, the tale examines themes of revenge, madness, and the stripping away of humanity. Poe had explored similar territory several years earlier in The Cask of Amontillado, another story centered on betrayal and vengeance. These motifs recur often in Poe's writing, as he was a central figure in Dark Romanticism, a subgenre that arose in reaction to Romanticism. While Romanticism celebrated the uplifting qualities of human emotion and individuality, Dark Romanticism confronted the darker truths of human nature: sin, self-destruction, and inevitable punishment. In keeping with these themes, Hop Frog recounts the brutal retribution that a court jester exacts upon his tyrannical king. Published only months before Poe's death, the story is frequently read as autobiographical, echoing his personal hardships. The character's displacement from home and his struggle with alcoholism parallel aspects of Poe's own life. The tale also draws on a real historical tragedy, the 1393 Bal des Ardents, when King Charles VI and 5 knights were burned alive during a masquerade after donning flammable costumes. The story unfolds in an unnamed kingdom where the presence of jesters at court had not altogether gone out of fashion. The anonymous narrator describes the monarch, his 7 ministers, and his jester. The king and his advisors are portrayed as large, corpulent, oily men who delight in crude jokes, especially those of a practical nature. Their fool, Hop Frog, is a little person who was forcibly taken from his homeland and gifted to the king. His real name is unknown, and because of the peculiar way he moves, something between a leap and a wriggle, the courtiers call him Hop Frog, a name that underscores their mockery. While his appearance provides endless amusement for the king and his ministers, Hop Frog's companion, Trippetta, another little person from his homeland, is treated differently. Celebrated for her grace and exquisite beauty, she enjoys favor and influence in the court. When the king prepares for a masquerade ball but cannot decide on a costume, he turns almost reluctantly to Hop Frog and Trippetta for guidance. To amuse himself, the king forces Hop Frog to drink wine, though he knows it drives him nearly to madness. When Trippetta pleads for mercy, the king cruelly strikes her down and douses her with wine. Though enraged, Hop Frog controls himself and agrees to drink as much as the king demands. With quiet calculation, he suggests that the king and his 7 ministers attend the masquerade disguised as orangutans, assuring them it will be a grand practical joke. He outfits them in cotton garments smeared with tar and flax and binds them together by chains at the waist. Meanwhile, Trippetta prepares the ballroom according to his plan, removing the chandelier and replacing the light with torches held by sculpted caryatides. At midnight, the king and his ministers burst into the ballroom in their costumes, provoking terror among the guests. As the panicked crowd tries to flee, the king commands the doors locked and entrusts Hop Frog with the only key. Following silently behind them, Hop Frog entwines their chains so they are bound together as one. At his signal, the chandelier hook drops and he secures their chains to it. As the men are hoisted into the air, facing one another in grotesque fashion, the guests begin to realize it is a hoax. Hop Frog seizes a torch, ascends the chain, and pretends to unmask the creatures. In moments, the king and his ministers ignite, and within half a minute they are consumed by flames, suspended above the horrified assembly. Before making his escape, Hop Frog addresses the guests, revealing the truth. The supposed orangutans were none other than the king and his ministers. A king who does not scruple to strike a defenseless girl and his 7 counselors who abet him in the outrage. He declares this act his last jest, then climbs the chain and vanishes through the skylight. The narrator concludes with the belief that Hop Frog and Trippetta return to their homeland. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.